Right, so Marvels Avengers. I haven't talked about Marvels Avengers in a while, and that's honestly because I haven't been playing Marvels Avengers for a while. The game just doesn't have content to pull me in at the moment. We are getting the new villain sector this month, which I hope is more than just a villain sector, but I'm not going to talk about that today. Today I want to talk about something that's really interesting with the game. The first expansion that we're getting. We've had operations, they've been like small story components that have added new characters. We've had Kate and we've had Hawkeye. The next character we're getting is right there, Black Panther. I'm excited for this, not only because it's an expansion, but also Black Panther is going to be fun, and it's going to be interesting to see how he works, how he plays around in this world in a story perspective, and how he works as just a playable character, because we haven't really seen Black Panther. He hasn't had a game ever, and he hasn't really appeared in any other mobile game, in any other Marvel games that haven't been either mobile or Marvel Ultimate Alliance. So I want to see how he works in like a AAA title. But yeah, I think it's going to be fun. And I think this is going to be, it's like Destiny had to Taken King. This is going to have War for Wakanda, and it's going to actively like help the game and breathe new life, or breathe life into Marvel's Avengers, because it's on life support at the moment. Let's be honest. The few people that really love the game and think, oh, it's my favourite game ever, there's only like a handful of people that are actually like that, and the rest are either I'm waiting for something really good to happen, or they're gone. And the War for Wakanda has to kind of work double-fold, because there's already games like this on the market. Destiny's already massive, and it's gearing up for its next expansion. And then we have Final Fantasy 14. Amazing game, and really fucking popular. You've got Outriders, we've got Suicide Squad Kills the Justice League coming soon. There's so many games that are like this now that, the only thing that this has going for it is its IP, is that it's Avengers, is that it's a Marvel IP. And hopefully they can bring in the quality content with this to make people see past it just being a cash grabby IP centric, fashion fest, because that's what the game has been. The only new stuff that's come is cosmetic items, and I don't care about cosmetics. I didn't really care about Red Room. Red Room was just, I know in my video I was very positive, but there's only so much positivity you can have for something that lasts 2 days. So War for Wakanda has to be good. It has to be a hit. We're getting more footage of it in a couple days, actually, on the 13th, when E3 with the Square Enix Presents. We're also getting Guardians of the Galaxy as well. That's interesting. I'm very interested about Guardians of the Galaxy. The two things that I'm talking about in this video are the two things that I've got posters of. I've just realised that. That's funny. But yeah, basically what I want to talk about, I've been rambling for 5 minutes, is what needs to be in War for Wakanda, the War for Wakanda expansion, to pique my interest and to keep me playing, and what needs to be in the game to bring in players that have left, new players that have been like, I want to play Marvel's Avengers, but I've heard that there's not much outside of the story to do, and this expansion is the perfect thing to to bring those people in that are kind of teetering on the fence, and to basically be like, look, there is content past beating MODOK at the end. There is content past that, and it's not just, you know, two or 3 hours of playing as, you know, the same character twice. It is, you know, hopefully this brings in some of the stuff that I'm going to say in this video. And the first thing that I have to say is a decent length story section. You know, the story of the operations has been 2 to 3 hours of, you know, the same stuff over and over again. It's been decent, but the story hasn't really grabbed me. I want to see Black Panther interact with the Avengers. I want to see him interact with all of the Avengers, not just Captain America and that's it, not just Iron Man, that's it, not just Hawkeye and that's it. Operation Future Imperfect was just the Clint and Kate show, which was okay for that because it was an operation, but this being an expansion, it has to have all of the Avengers. The game is called Marvels Avengers, it's not called Hulk and Friends, it's not called Cap and Friends, it's not called Hawkeye, Kate and Friends, it's Marvel's Avengers, and it kind of has to have all of the Avengers. I know you're trying to set up and make us care about Black Panther, but we've got to care about the other characters as well, because there's characters here that didn't have a lot in the main story, like Cap, like Black Widow, like Thor, and those characters kind of need their own story stuff to coincide with this, you know, to make us care about them a bit more. The other thing that I think I think it needs, also the length of the story section kind of needs to either be around the same as the main campaign, so around 8 to 10 hours. That should be fine, and you're able to fit like 3 boss fights in, new bosses, and then, you know, hopefully raid at the end that takes a few hours to complete the first time. I don't want to be running in and having it done in like 30 minutes like everything else, like all of the villain sectors. I want to, you know, actively be figuring this thing out for a long time, and that brings me to the second point. There needs to be a raid with this. Apparently there's a raid coming beforehand, but that's just going to be like a rehash or redo of the last fight in Taking Aim, which was the Super Adaptoid. Apparently we're getting Super Adaptoid again, but a harder scaled up version. That's not a raid. That's not a raid. That's, if there's level before that we actively have to figure out, if it's not just that final mission again, then yeah, I'm happy to call that a raid. If it takes a while and like it's very like, and it's like hard, you know, I'm willing to call that a raid, and it takes like 3 to 4 hours to complete. I'm happy to call that a raid. But if it's any less than that, you know, it's just another mission. It's just a hard mission. And, you know, I don't have high hopes for that, but I have high hopes for a Wakanda raid. If there is a Wakanda raid, which there kind of has to be, you know, and the villains that will be in the raid will probably be from the Wakanda story as well. But yeah, it's just it speaks for itself. You know, this is the first expansion. Expansions in any other game come with their set of raids or their one raid, and you know, this either needs to be a really big, really cool raid like King's Fall, or it needs to be 2 kind of okay raids for it to be like, you know, good. Because there's no end game at the moment. There needs to be some kind of end game, something to grind for, something to get all the really good gear for. And at the moment, there's nothing for that. There's There's the heroic gauntlets, which aren't good and worth it in any way, but they're the closest thing we have to endgame content. So yeah, there's only really that. The next thing is... What is the next thing? I haven't scripted this video out, I probably should have. The next thing is probably multiple heroes. They haven't said that there will be multiple heroes, and this isn't a must-have, but I feel like the community at the moment, especially some of the more vocal of the community, have been like, we need two characters per update. We need 2 characters per operation or expansion, and I feel like operations, 1 character is fine. Expansions, it's not wrong to kind of want 2 characters for a expansion. I don't necessarily think we have to have 2 characters for an expansion. I feel like the characters that come out with the expansion need to be the big characters, like the really cool characters that you can tell a lot went into them. And like the expansion characters can be your Mockingbirds, your Hawkeyes, your Kate Bishops, your War Machines, your Winter Soldiers, etc. And the expansions are saved for your Captain Marvels, your Doctor Strangers, your Scarlet Witches, your really top tier characters. Apart from Spider-Man, who, for rights reasons and because Sony are dicks, just throw him in wherever. I feel like that's probably what's going to happen with For Wakanda. We're just going to have Spider-Man thrown in. I mean, I think E3 or Sony's big showcase will have Spider-Man, and they'll be like, hey, look at Spider-Man, he's coming with Black Panther. So Xbox people, you get Black Panther, you get your expansion, and PS4 people, you get that something extra as well. And then 2 months down the line, they're like, yeah, Spider-Man's going to be on all consoles now, but Xbox people, you have to wait till December to get him. And then, you know, by the end of the year, everyone's happy, or everyone's kind of happy, because the Xbox people are going to still be salty because they've had less time to grind up Spider-Man, and by that point you're probably going to have another character, or you're going to have characters in that are going to be better, and the meta would have shifted, and power creep may be a thing. And like, we don't know what Black Panther's actually going to be. Is Black Panther going to be a power creep? Is Black Panther going to have summons? Is Black Panther going to, you know, is Black Panther going to be a badass character? Or is Black Panther going to be the worst character introduced to the game and not have anything in his kit? We don't know that. The only thing we can do is speculate that he's probably going to be the best character in the game, because they're doing a big expansion for him, and they're doing the biggest content drop for Black Panther. So they've probably put the most amount of effort into Black Panther. That's the only thing that I can think of. And they've probably put a lot of effort into Spider-Man because it's Spider-Man, and because nothing else is coming out with him. So the character kind of has to slap. That's kind of everything that I've got today. That's kind of everything that I think the For Wakanda needs to do. Like, that's what will sell me for it. I mean, if they have their big badass like moments like Infinity War, if they start bringing moments to make this feel like a comic book, and to feel like you're actively playing through a comic book storyline, then yeah, I'm sold. And I'm sold if before that point we have a kind of better game going into it, so we have a raid before we go into Black Panther, so we know what the expansion has to do to kind of give us a great raid, to give us great story, to give us a great character, to give us the best stuff we've seen so far of the game. Because I'm not gonna say the game's terrible. The game is fun. It's just it's been modeled to be a live service game, and the content drops are too few and far between, and the game modes that have been introduced so far, or the events that have been in the game so far, have been lackluster, and there's no end game. Those are my biggest complaints. The core of the game is fine. The core of the game doesn't need to be changed. The gear probably needs updating, and there probably needs to be some bump ups to like the actual characters, because challenger levels didn't do anything. They really didn't. They were like mini stat bumps. There need to be active buffs to some of the characters, like actual attacks, because I think some of the characters just don't do enough, and there needs to be animation buffs and kind of stuff like that, but that can come later. That can come at like the 1 year anniversary, that can come at like the 2 year anniversary, that can come with an expansion, that can come with whatever they want to do, they can do. Because I think after Black Panther, there's going to be a lot more faith instilled in Square Enix and in Crystal Dynamics, because I don't think they can fuck it up. I don't think there's anything they can do to fuck up a Black Panther expansion, apart from if they actively want the game to die and fizzle out. If they have to actively try and make it bad. I feel like some people may think they have actively tried to make it bad so far, but I don't think Square Enix and Crystal Dynamics want that on their resume. I don't think they want, we were the people who made an Avengers game that didn't last a year. I don't think they're the people that want that, and I feel like they want to have their King's Fall, they want to have their Avengers 2.0, they want to have a game that they can be proud of, and they can actively say, this is really fun and we made something special here. It wasn't special at the start, it had a rocky road, but now that we've had this moment, and you know, all the pieces are finally aligned, and we have endgame content, we have a variety of really cool characters at disposal, and we have enough bosses to rotate through weekly villain sectors. You know, I think the sky is the limit after this, and they can kind of do whatever they want, and there's not really much they can do wrong. If this slaps, if this is amazing, there is nothing they can do wrong. If this is the best thing this game has ever seen, I think they can do whatever they want after this. Within reason, they can't kill off Captain America again. I don't think they can get away with killing off Captain America again. But yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. Yeah, big video at the end of this week I've got planned. So yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. I stream on Twitch every day. Link in the description. Links also in the description for my Twitter, my Twitch, my Instagram, all that lovely good stuff, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.